because it's a thing that not everybody can do. So therefore, if you can contribute to these kind of things, the countries can develop very fast, because the input that goes into that is much less compared to the selling price. We value the knowledge so much, so we need electronics engineers to contribute in that aspect. Okay, ours is a small industry, but we need to develop so much. If you consider electronics industry, maybe that you are not born as well, started with vacuum tubes and produced radios only those days, about 50 years ago, maybe not so long, right? Transistors and integrated circuits, which you normally call ICs, revolutionized the electronics industry. And you can concentrate on 5 industries in the electronic sector. We call component manufacturing industry. Those include discrete devices like ICs, resistors, transistors, and all that little gadgets that you produced, right? Component industries. And countries like Korea is very famous, like Samsung, is #1 in the world in chip manufacturing, ICs, Korea, Samsung, right? And consumer electronics industry, radios, TVs, DVDs, and things like that. These are consumer electronics we use. Computer and office equipment industry, like computer hardware, peripherals. Telecommunication industry, fixed mobile voice data, all the mobile phones that you use. Industrial electronics industry, which use in the automobiles, the aerospace, and things like that. So you see that, depending on in which area that you would like to specialize, you have tremendous opportunities that you need to pursue in these areas. Okay. Right, these are the Asian hubs developed with these electronics industry: Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan, India, Singapore, and Sri Lanka. We need to do that as well. Perhaps you can become electronics engineers to contribute that. And not only those aspects, we can also contribute so much in the area of medical electronics. I'm just trying to give you a potential, the scope that you can go with these kind of disciplines. Normally needs of wearable medical electronic devices, medical imaging systems that you see when you go to the hospital, all the images that you see, the diagnostic, all these are contributions by the electronics industry. So the doctors use the tools and techniques, the diagnostic tools and techniques developed by engineers. Of course, it's a combination of 2 professions in the health industry. Okay, so medical imaging, all the ECGs and MRIs and all the scanning that you do, that you can see the inside of the body, and all the operations that you do without cutting your body, through just penetration through a nerve, that you see everything. Those are all engineering input. Artificial organs, for example, an intelligent limb, artificial, completely artificial organs, right? New non-invasive or minimum invasive medical equipment which can be used for diagnostic. That is, you don't, without actually putting your equipment into the body, non-invasive. Say for example, at Moratuwa we are trying to develop something which probably can obtain world patent as well. Without getting your blood, you can just wear something and which will tell you the blood sugar level that you are having, right? Non-invasive, that is, you don't insert it into the body. So those kind of areas that you want to develop. Personal robotics, day-to-day life, usage of robotics for hazard situation. You can see that instead of finger or maybe personal aspects, that you can use these robotics, which is again very popular in the industry. Smarter mobile devices, very smart in handling. Those improve the capacity of humans. Smarter, intelligent mobile devices. Newspaper which updates news as news occurs, so we don't want to have print media in that sense very much. Smarter phones with GPS and location awareness services. As you know, maybe in Sri Lanka, it is not so much used at this point of time. But if you go to any other developed country, you have all these GPSs. You don't want to have any map. You don't want to ask anybody. You get into the vehicle and just indicate that, tell me how to go to this place. And it'll tell you, even the voice or directional video, say that travel 50 meters, take left turn, and like that, it'll guide you exactly to the place that you want to go. and this is very widely used in other countries. Sri Lanka also has a technology, but we need to have a GIS map to exactly locate. Now, if you want to go to a house, you say 350 Bullis Road, it will exactly point, exactly guide you, and when you reach the target, you reach the target. It will tell you exactly that. I have traveled in lots of equipment, lots of vehicles like that with those kind of navigations, and very easy. And Sri Lanka will very soon have that as well. Okay. Consumer electronics, right? As the world goes towards the knowledge society, many of the mundane tasks will be automated. So you don't want to do things like smart homes, where lights will come on and the kettle will go on when you come into the home. Okay? A house which will call you if you are late to see where you are. Things like that. All these smart devices, right, will come. Right now, Sri Lanka is also contributing to some extent. Right now, this is the Moratoa. We have very excellent analytical ability in our engineers, budding engineers like you. And for example, this Geologic Private Limited, the Sri Lankan company, has designed the first ever 3D integrated circuit, which will revolutionize the next generation embedded electronics. So we are also in a little by little trying to contribute to this electronics war, so that we can also contribute and try to earn little money for Sri Lanka. Okay, that's electronics. If you consider a discipline like electrical engineers manage, operate, maintain, plan, expand and upgrade national electrical supply system for quality, reliability and best affordable delivery of electrical energy. And this is some area that we need to develop in Sri Lanka as well, because we don't have a 100% reliable supply, right? We have power failures, we have sometimes unreliable electrical supply, but it's much better compared to a couple of years ago. Right. Now, several power stations are now constructed by local electrical engineers, like the Noracholi power plant and all that. Lots of contributions and expertise going from local electrical engineers. Right, it plays a big role in industrial sector in motion control, automation, lighting, equipment and personal safety, standby power generation, internal power distribution and all that. So therefore it is a supportive industry which will assist in lots of other areas as well. Right? So being an electrical engineer is important in those aspects. Right? When you consider power generation, it might be hydropower that we have, like through the dams that we have, the electrical generation through Victoria Dam, Lakshapana and all that you have heard about. Coal power, diesel power, gas, nuclear power, which we don't have in Sri Lanka yet because of the safety concerns. But engineers are now coming out with devices where nuclear is 100% safe, that you have all the nuclear waste dumping underground, and their only concern is that what will happen if there is an earthquake, that the earth is trying to break it into pieces, and how to safeguard those aspects, right? And so these are electrical power generation, high voltage power transmission, and those who did physics, you know that we need to transmit electricity energy with high voltage so that you reduce or minimize the waste through heat and all that, right? High voltage transmission, you see all the high voltage line, because they transmit electricity through very high voltage with minimum current, so that their wastage is minimized. Overhead lines, underground and undersea cables, national power transmission network, and low voltage power distribution. All the distribution systems that we have. Then electrical constructions, design of large buildings, equipment installation, contracting, system design. Dipamala, how much time I have? Another 5 minutes? Yeah. Okay. Right. Building services, building management, energy savings, building acoustics, ancillary services, customer services. So we have industrial automation of industrial systems, remote monitoring and control, robotic technology, very much related to electrical, both electronics, mechatronic system, measuring equipment. So these are just to give you an idea about the aspects of electrical engineering that you have. Then you have electrical machinery. electric motors, transformers, generators. Sometimes you have electrical trains that are going on, although it is not in Sri Lanka yet. And lots of countries, the trains are run by electrical motors, with the motors having a tremendous, powerful energy right at the beginning, and then you have less and less pulling power as the speed gains, and without any environment pollution. Okay, electrical cars coming up as well in Sri Lanka too. Electric transportation, artificial lighting, all these things are in the electrical sector. What is promoted again is a renewable energy because of the global warming that we have. As engineers, we need to contribute to these aspects like solar, wind power generation, biogas, biofuels, tidal energy, because we need to make sure that we can live in this world for the next 500,000 years with our young, future generations. Right. Employment opportunities plenty in these areas. At Moradu, of course, the graduates are absorbed even before they pass out in these sectors. Right. Now, coming with this one, what I explained is just some of the disciplines that you can pursue, right? But you have plenty of other disciplines that, as I mentioned to you, like aeronautical engineering, biomedical engineering, robotics. If you aspire to become an engineer and try to pursue an engineering career, perhaps in Sri Lanka, perhaps in other countries as well, okay, depending on the areas that you like. So all what you need to do is to log on and find out with your assistants to see what kind of engineering disciplines that you have in the universities that you aspire to obtain education, and see the opportunities. Now, just to summarize, engineers are designers and builders of nations' infrastructure, like roads, dams, irrigation, tall buildings, large bridges, power projects, water supply schemes, and all that, right? We build the nation, all the infrastructure facilities that we have. Design and production of high-tech materials, components, products for high value addition, for exports and for import substitution, right? When you export only from Sri Lanka, you can earn money to Sri Lanka, isn't it? Right? If you do something here and if you use something, it is just like that we use in our family. And if you want to build Sri Lanka, if you want to generate money to Sri Lanka, we need to export outside Sri Lanka and earn money to our country. And that is how we get economic development. Design and development of high-tech machines, equipment and processes. Design and development of medical equipment, medical diagnostic equipment, advanced medical solutions. Conditioning and safeguarding of natural environment that we have. Enhancement of human capacities through various communication devices, transportation devices, tools that we use. All these things enhance the human capacity. Okay, that you know, through engineering. Bringing people and countries together, closer, through various kinds of communication. Now you see that you can immediately, in a fraction of a second, you can call to any part of the world without any problem. You can travel to any part of the world very quickly. You have businessmen going from UK in the morning to do business in the USA, returning in the evening, every day traveling, right? That is to bring the world closer together. This goes on and on and on. So therefore, I think, basically, if you pursue a career in engineering, you have a vast array of disciplines that you can specialize on, depending on your likeness. Okay? In Sri Lanka, it might be difficult, perhaps because the A-level examination is very competitive. You don't have many places to go to because we have only 3 universities providing engineering education, but you have plenty of opportunities in other countries. Our job is basically to promote the profession of engineering, because that is a profession which can assist to build a nation in all the aspects. If you just have a holistic view of what we talked about, and those contributions will certainly build a nation, will contribute for economic development of any country. So